Dude, guess what?
Dude, what, man?
It smells like up dweeb in here.
No, I'm not doing this.
Wait, dude. It would have been funny because I would then you would have called me the dweeb. All right, let's try again. You start this. You start this.
Okay.
And maybe talk faster. So.
No, I don't want to start it though because I want to be the one to call you a dweeb.
No, let's just do a whole new introduction now.
Okay. What's up, man? Did that sound natural? Did that sound like the first try?
Yeah. I don't want to start yet.
Dude, okay. Let's try this again. Start from where I said okay.
Okay.
All right. What's up, guys? Do you had something you wanted to say, Matt, for the first time I'm hearing this?
Yeah, what's up, dweeb? No, wait.
Oh, no.
Let's try that one more time.
We already have the end of the episode. That's good.
Yeah.
Dude, we'll just throw this in at the end.
Yeah, man. Guess what?
What, man?
It smells like.
Are we starting?
Yeah.
Oh. Dude, let's run this back. One last time.
No, I think let's just hit it, Hutch.
You know what it? No.
Oh wait.
I will get this off.
Dude.
All right. What is it? What?
It smells like.
What does it smell like in here?
You know what it is now, boys and girls of the podcast world. Matt and Tyler on the mics. They're gonna stay here until they agree. They're gonna stay here until they agree. Oh, thank you for listening. This show's called Until We Agree. Oh, thank you for listening.
Welcome back to Until We Agree. What I was doing there was I was laughing a little bit longer from the beginning of
the fade in, of course.
For the fade in, so it sounds like a more natural progression, like we were having like loose fun, but actually that was a forced laugh. So to make you think that you're having more fun as a listener than you actually are at this point in the episode. That being said, welcome back.
Dude, let me take over. You sound a little sick.
Dude, I was just thinking that I'm not sick, but I was thinking I was sounding a little bit weak in the voice. So
Dude,
please.
You're sounding weak in the voice. Let me take over, man.
Yeah, please.
My name is Tyler Pritchard. I'm joined as always by Mark Howard from Until We Agree. And I was actually, that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. You asked me if I had anything I wanted to talk about. Do you have any updates? Has that aired yet?
It hasn't, and it's a real bummer.
Well,
it's a real bummer
shocking.
for me and me alone because this guy posts like 3 or 4 times a week, these hour and a half long podcasts. And so guess who's having to comb through? Guess who's combing through an hour and a half of content every other day to see if our stupid ad read that we didn't even want is out there. And I'll spoil it. It's me.
It's you. Do you feel yourself swaying any kind of direction with what's going on in the world? Are you maybe feeling a bit more emotional about some things?
Can I just say, I'm getting real tilted. Let me just say that. I'm following one direction.
I think we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. For sure. No, this is not a political podcast, but if it was, it's not that one. So I'm sure we have a lot of returning listeners from the far right. We're happy to have you. Welcome back to Until We Agree. My name is Mark Howard, joined as always by Tyler Pritchard, as Tyler said. And I feel like my voice is still weak. Are you feeling the same vibe as me still?
Dude, it sounds bad. I'm not going to lie to you. I would never do that to you.
It sounds bad, but also totally normal.
Right. And it's weird because it sounds like maybe something happened to you this week. Can I put you on a Sky Rizzy one more time? I don't know if that would help.
It's embarrassing when you talk Crohn's. You just don't get it, and you never will.
Dude, I get it. No, and I get it. Because there's things like Sky Rizzy for you, and for me, there's nothing. But let's just move on. We've had this.
And when you say for you, there's nothing.
And I want it.
When you say that for you, there's nothing. It's for people like you who have incurable food poisoning. Is that correct?
Right, and it's something we live with. I've had it since January. No
symptoms.
But no, it's something that's just like in the recesses of my bowels. And what am I to do about it?
Dude. Speaking of,
I'm sorry.
Please,
my impingement's funny.
No, I was gonna say something else. Well, yes, yours is because it's not real. But I was gonna say, speaking of recess, can I put you on a childhood for a second? This is where I wanted to start the episode.
Okay.
So this is actually a perfect transition.
Okay.
Because I have two things I want to
Alright.
talk about. If you look at the agenda, one of them is lemon, is what I wrote on the agenda, and the other one
Heard
is
of it.
sponsored. And so these are two
Yes.
things that have to do with what you were just talking about. We're not
Okay.
sponsored by Sky Rizzy, but I did kind of get sponsored by something last week. And in turn, the podcast has been, because it's going to come out soon on Until We Agree on Instagram at Until We Agree. But what I want to talk about, speaking of recess, if I can, is I was driving yesterday being Sunday. If you're on the Rat Pack, it was probably a Monday for you, but for me, it was Sunday. Are you following the story so far?
Yep. For you, it was M. Or for you, it was S, and for others, it was M.
Yeah. So I was full D on Sunday. Wait,
We can't
full-
do that. We cannot do this early because it's gonna derail the rest of the
Well,
episode.
bro,
I think we start
it's,
this
if
right
you
now.
didn't interrupt me, it would have saved time, because that's what we're doing
Right.
here. It's slang to save time. So
I know, but I think we actually need the time for this episode. This one might go short if we do that.
that's actually true. Okay, so I was full on driving my car on Sunday through, like, I'll make it so clear for the listeners. A lot of them I think are based out of Nashville. I was on 10th Avenue, which is 2 avenues to the right of 12th Avenue. 12 South is what it's known for.
I've heard of
Famous
this.
street, even
I've
not
been
from,
there.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. You ate
With
lunch
you.
there on my wedding day. We had lunch on 12 South. So, very famous street in Nashville, has nothing to do with the story. It's only giving context to the small number of people who are in Nashville who know what happens around 12 South. And what happens around 12 South is people live in houses. Are you familiar with this concept?
Yep, houses. And in 12 South, they're nearby to a bustling, like, town center shopping area.
Yeah. Which again has nothing to do with the story. All I want you to know is that there are
No,
houses. It's
let's
kind
put
of
all
like,
the people on to 12 South because
please, yeah, take.
it's just a great place to eat. It's a great place to shop with the family. We're sponsored by 12 South officially.
Yeah. It's like a great place to be sponsored by, and it's a great place to go on the day of your wedding.
All right, continue.
That was bad. You know what wasn't funny? What I just said.
What wasn't? No, and here's the thing. I wasn't gonna react to it, and that's
Yeah, but that's how I knew.
part of improv nowadays. Part of improv nowadays is it's not always about yes and. Sometimes it's about, and that's silence, right? That's silence that we give to just to let things die out and fizzle out. Because if you were to yes and something that maybe shouldn't be yes anded, it could spiral out of control and be even worse. And the people don't deserve
Right.
that.
And I know Ginnick, our improv coach, was supposed to be on this week if he wasn't afraid. And it seems like he was afraid. So we're just kind of taking improv under our own wings now and saying that was advanced improv, what you just
You
saw.
know, a week ago, I did ask him to be on. He said he would love to be on. So that is not on Ginnick.
Is that a-
was more of a
that's a-
schedule. That's a scheduling thing
Yeah.
on me. I'm going to go ahead and put that out there.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Yeah, Ginnick, come back whenever. We need to practice improv again. But so back to my story. I'm in a residential area, driving through, trying to get to the grocery store from, I think, lunch or something. I don't know exactly where I was coming from, but I was going from somewhere to somewhere else. And so I'm driving through this
As you do.
residential. Yeah, as that's what cars were made for. And so I'm driving through this residential area, and I saw something that I hadn't seen truly in years. It was the craziest sight. There were 2 kids on the side of the street with a lemonade stand. And I know what you're thinking.
Are you serious? I see this all the time.
I haven't seen it in a really, really long time. I was like pretty taken aback because I was thinking about kids with their iPads these days. They're not going outside to sell lemonade for $1. It's $1 now, by the way, inflation. Are you freaking, sorry, pardon my language, kidding me? That's my political.
Did you buy any? Did you buy any?
No, of course not. That's not the crazy part of the story.
Okay.
But what
There's
happened?
a crazier part than
Yeah,
kids selling them. Okay.
Right now, yeah, like I would not be telling the story if it was just these kids selling lemonade at a lemonade stand outside their house, because that's just. It was surprising. I thought to myself, I said, that was surprising. I haven't seen that in a while. But what got surprising? Yeah, I'm in the middle of the story. I don't think it's all that good. I know Conan says not to say that your stories are.
No. It's good because I know exactly where it's going. You want me to finish it?
Yeah, finish it for me.
It's surprising because the flashing lights came in the rearview mirror, and you were like, "That's surprising too," and you got pulled over.
No, this is a you story. You're the one who gets pulled over.
No. But this happened to you on Sunday, and the police officer came out, and they walked to the passenger side because you were on the side of the road, and there was a safety concern.
Mm-hmm.
So you rolled down your right side window, and you leaned over your dashboard because it's the right side, and the police officer, I bet you were picturing a man, you freak, said, "Hey, you're not allowed near these children." And you said, "What?" And then there's a restraining order for you that you just had no idea about, and that's what's surprising.
That would have been surprising. Can I tell you what happened though? Not that.
Oh, okay.
That was good improv though. And did you see how I was doing good improv too by letting you do your thing?
And by letting me know that absolutely did not happen.
Immediately after, and I said, actually, no, but let me get back to the real world where we actually are serious. So what happened was I was on 10th Avenue, which 10th Avenue goes north and south. Am I painting this picture?
2 streets away from 12th, we know.
Yeah, yep. But and then what's crazy about roads is a grid system. You're this close to downtown, it turns into that grid system that we all know and love. So we have crossing streets. They're not numbered. They're named after I assume people's last names from the olden times. But I'm going up, and from 10th Avenue South at some other intersection, I go 2 blocks up, still on 10th Avenue South, another lemonade stand with other independent kids selling lemonade.
There's competition in town, huh?
Yeah, and it was weird because they weren't even outside of a house. So I was thinking like, why? They could see each other, and they were on opposite sides of the street at least. So at least they
no wonder they were selling lemonade. They don't have a house.
Yes, and their kids. Is this thing on?
Dude. I'm trying my best today, man.
I know you're actually doing really good, and I need some help, man. So yeah, that's the end of the story. I thought that was pretty crazy.
That was the end of the story. You saw 2 lemonade stands
on the same 2 blocks apart. Whoa, what are they doing? First of all, that's crazy in itself, and also, why are you doing on the same street? They could see each other.
They could see each other. You know that?
Yeah, because they were 2 blocks. It's a straight street. They could absolutely see each other. And I was thinking, like, if you're not even outside your house, if you're just selling on some random street corner, go to a different street corner where you have different. They should go to. If they go 2 blocks over, there's this road called 12 South, and the amount of foot traffic you get on 12 South versus 10th Avenue South is unparalleled. The streets themselves are parallel. Don't get me wrong about that at all. The streets are parallel, 2 blocks apart, parallel streets, north to south. There's so much more going on 12 South. Sell your lemonade there. Unless there was more lemonade. I didn't go on 12 South, so I don't know. There might have been more lemonade stands on 12 South. But
you know what I think we need to do?
Yeah, tell me.
Next time I'm up there, I think we need to open up our own little lemonade stand and pour money into it. Just give it away for free to kick these kids out of business. Teach them a lesson. Show them what just pouring money into something and slashing costs will do.
That'd be so funny if we like split up and I have a lemonade stand next to one of them and they're still charging. I just give it away for free and then you do the same on the other side.
Yeah.
They don't make any money at all. That'd be so good. I'm done with this story, by the way.
Dude, that would be good. I'm glad you just explained it in the way that you did.
Yeah, man.
Next, though, I hear you have another exciting story for us about being sponsored.
I don't know if I even want to tell this story anymore.
No, man, you're doing really good. Hey, dude, you got this.
Do you want to do it? You know
I will
the story.
say, I feel like since you got married, you're rapidly aging. I texted Matt about Apple TV, a show on Apple TV about golf with Owen Wilson, who we love golf and we love Owen Wilson because of Wedding Crashers and the internship and such movies.
Mm-hmm.
And he's now in a show about golf called The Stick, I believe. Or maybe just Stick. It might just be Stick.
I don't know. I don't
Ted
have
Lasso-esque.
I can't even get it.
And so it's Ted Lasso-esque. And it's about golf. And so I texted to watch this show.
Wait, it's about
yes, it's about golf, and it's well, I know what you're about to do.
Ted Lasso, it would be a soccer show.
I said Ted Lasso-esque in vibe.
Okay.
In vibe.
Okay.
Right. So I text you to watch the show.
Can I tell you? I want to watch Severance more than Stick with Owen Wilson, to be honest.
Well, for both those shows, you know what you need?
Is it Apple TV Plus?
It's Apple TV Plus. And so I texted you to watch that, and you said, I don't have Apple TV Plus. And I said, right off the bat, it's like so easy to get those 3-month trials. Like, I believe I have one on my phone. It just like offers me a 3-month trial, even though I don't have, like, I didn't recently buy an Apple product, but it just says, here's a 3-month trial because they wanted to get you in the door, right? And Matt's reply to that, instead of saying, oh yeah, true, what'd you say again?
I said, you said, bro, I hate to say it, but don't be 80. You can get a 3-month trial with your eyes
you
closed.
Said,
and then
you just said, I just don't have Apple TV.
Yeah, so that's, you already set that up. Right. You're doing, okay. And then I said, bro, I'm in my early to mid 20s. I know how things work.
Right. And then you said, will the whole season be out in 3 months? And I said, hey, buddy, let's do the math.
Yeah, this
if
was
there are
okay.
10 episodes,
No, let's
if
pause.
there are 10 episodes,
No, let's pause
if there are
right
10
there.
episodes,
Let's pause right
3
there.
of them
No,
are
let's
out.
pause.
I'm doing math real quick.
Let's pause. No, I'm doing a
you don't
timeout.
mind.
I'm doing a timeout sign right now. I'm calling for a timeout.
Okay, you just had to say that. It's an audio medium. I don't know these things.
No, that's actually a good point. I'm sorry about that. So, point 1, I would like to thank you for giving me early to mid 20s. Point 2, this is not a bad question on my part. Will the whole season be out in 3 months? I have all I know about the show, The Stick or Stick with Owen Wilson.
You have access to Google, man.
I was asking you. You had I knew you already had the answer. I didn't.
I looked it up on Google after you asked that.
So
And
why
then,
is it a
hey,
bad
buddy,
question? So
let's
why
do
is it
the math.
So why is it a bad
If there
question?
are 10 episodes,
you don't. Hey,
3
buddy.
are out, 1 per week. You interrupt to say bro in the middle of I'm trying to be condescending, and you said bro of all things, and then you said, and then I said 7 weeks from now is how many months, big guy, and then I put a smiley
Because you're
face.
not asking the question that matters. I know the second you said let's do the math. There's 10 episodes. The question I was setting up was, will the whole season be out in 3 months? Is yes, it will be, because you got the implication that I'm asking how many episodes there are because you immediately jump into it. You hey buddied me for no, pardon my language, frickin' reason to be condescending, and it was rude for no reason. So I say I bro you in the
You know
middle
what's
because
rude?
obviously I didn't need that.
After all of that, you know what you said to me?
Yeah.
Well, first you said, literally nobody told me there were 10 episodes. And then I quoted where I said there are 10 episodes. And then I said I did. That I will concede that was toxic. That was after you asked me. And then you said, quoting a text after I asked the question, implying the ask how many episodes there are is crazy.
Yeah.
He said, bro's
Redacted.
right now.
That wasn't just because... That wasn't just because of that. You were in a bad mood the whole time.
No,
You were
and
in a
then I
bad
said
mood the
grow
whole
up.
day.
And you said he's mad for no reason, talking about me in the third person, even though you're talking to me. And then I said, did you hear Sabrina's new song? And then you said, only explanation is a monthly chemical shift. why are we on one today? And then you said, sounds like it's about you. And then I said, you look like Nathan Fielder dressed up as a baby.
Oh no, this is gonna be bad because I'm already not on it this episode, and this is okay.
No, because then a minute later you come back and you say, hold on, I can't think of anything funny to say back to this at all. But when I do, oh boy. And then a minute later you said, man child. Yeah, maybe if I'm the man and you're the child. And then you just kept going for some reason. At the very best, the song about you would be like Teen Child or something. You can never pass as a man, even at your best. Teen is the best you can do. Are these texts sending?
Okay, next week when I go down the rabbit hole of doing a lemonade stand type story, just cut me off and just start reading our texts.
Yeah,
That's so much better.
I will do.
That's so much better. I'm sorry you had to sit through the lemonade story to get to this. So, anyways, we're sponsored now, kind of.
Okay.
I don't know if I said this on the podcast back in September when we were sitting on our save the dates for a wedding. I'm married now, by the way. Welcome back. Follow us on Instagram at Until We Agree if I haven't said that yet. But we had some leftover save the dates. We had like 15 or so left over, and I think we sent out. And you know, like the trend. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen it. Like you send them to companies. And they like send you like free merch and like gift cards back in return, ideally.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen that. Well, I've seen not companies, but I've seen how people send like rich people if they can somehow get like their email or whatever.
Sure.
And then rich people just send a random gift. But
yeah,
I'm guessing you didn't do that.
Very similar idea. I think I saw a TikTok about like someone doing it with Chick-fil-A. We didn't do I don't think we did Chick-fil-A because it like got out that Chick-fil-A does that. And so we had to be really smart with who we sent these to, because like the people, like you think about like a lot of people send them to like Marriott or like Southwest Airlines or something, you know, like their favorite like travel company to like get points or something or a gift card or some sort of credit from them. But I was thinking if everyone's doing that, we're going to get lost in the shuffle.
I mean, while we're at it, name one more thing that you can get from these places.
Man, I don't know, like a continental breakfast or something.
Right. Just amenities even. Yeah.
Yeah. So my thought was let's go stuff that we care about a lot, but maybe they're not getting quite as many gift cards or twice as many save the dates because they're not used to it. They're not the companies that people are sending these to. So I picked a bunch of stuff that means a lot to me. And my strategy, I'll admit it now, did not work one bit. We heard nothing. Didn't even get a card with no presents in it. Nothing. They did not care at all.
Unlucky. What name some companies that you picked out that you thought this would be kind of like prime opportunity?
I'm trying to remember. I know we sent it to Body Armor, which they might have gotten too big, which is fine. But I thought they were just small enough still. I know we sent one. To, this one is a fun one. I know we sent one to Famous Amos Cookies.
Oh, that is a fun one.
I was like, surely no one's sending stuff to Famous Amos Cookies. You know, I think we like had Famous Amos. I think I bought Famous Amos Cookies for the first time in like 10 years that week, so it was fresh on the mind. And I was like, this would be a great company to send these to. There were companies of that size. I'm struggling to remember more, but that was the idea. And then there was one that I'm getting to. That guess what? We hear nothing. Replied. They replied 9 months later. They just replied to us in June.
Damn,
how sick is that? How sick is that? Sick.
I know exactly what company it is because you sent me this.
I sent it to you. Yeah, so you actually do know. But that means because we're putting out a reel tomorrow on Instagram, and by tomorrow it'll be today if you're listening on the day of release. And if it's any day after that, it's still going to be out. My live reaction to opening this envelope from Mellow Mushroom Pizzeria. My favorite pizza in the whole world. And I can say that crazy, by the way. With no shame. Hey, bro, we're sponsored by them now, so maybe let's not say that.
Which is crazy because, and what I meant to say by that, it's crazy because it's mine as well.
Dude, what a crazy coincidence.
Yeah, that's what I meant by that.
The Until We Agree podcast loves Mellow Mushroom. Loves it so much. And that means a lot to us. And so they sent me a gift card, which means they officially stand behind the Until We Agree product. Not enough to pay us money. So the IRS, if you're listening, we don't owe you any taxes, but they're getting our unrequited love now, Mellow Mushroom.
And legally, technically not sponsored, probably. I don't know. Maybe you can make that really quiet when I said that, just so we have that in the record.
Yeah. Also, probably not sponsored. Anyway,
maybe like, yeah.
So how
speed it up.
Yeah, but like, how sick is that? You're giving editor Mark a lot of credit here. It'll be exactly how you said it, but just know it's sponsored, but not really. But how sick is that? That was a thrill. I was ecstatic. My heart was beating faster than any other moment besides the moment I got married to the love of my life, my bride. And
how did she react, by the way, to your list where you ranked her 7th?
Can I be honest?
All women?
Can I be honest? Did not love it. And I explained it. Yeah, she wanted to be 1, which she was at the end, and she obviously is, and she always will be for me.
Right, but she was 7th.
But can I stop you for a second? When you framed that question last week, and you're listening to last week's episode if you're missing this, you said these are the top 10 women of all time. That was how you framed the question. So first of all, no,
because I knew you were going to say this. No, they're not the top 10 women of all time.
That's fine, but that's what you said.
Like
that's what you said, though. So
I'm not saying
you actually did say that.
No. Like it's just like blind ranking of 10 women who would be top of all time if they were the only 10 women alive. Maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to talk my way out of this. I'm not sure how.
But here's the thing: is that's not what you said.
That's not my top 10 list of women.
First of all,
what I'm trying to say.
You didn't even put your own girlfriend on the top 10 list of women of all time, but you did put Amber Heard. That seems weird. That's weird. Dude. That seems weird, isn't it? Your own girlfriend's not on there. Your girlfriend is great. She's awesome. But not better than Amber Heard, apparently.
She's been in so many movies. First of all,
that's crazy, man. I'm gonna stop you right there because I know you've lost this one.
No, and I will talk myself deeper into this hole. I'm all right.
Okay, keep going then.
Things are good. Who else did you not agree with on the list?
What are you talking about? I'm fine with.
Who else you have a problem with that I put on that top 10 list?
The only problem I had is that you left your own girlfriend. Not the only problem, I guess. They're not the top 10 women of all time. There are arguments that some of the women on there, Britney, for example, is a top 10 woman of all time. Harriet Tubman is a top 10 woman of all time. Anne Frank has a real argument for being a top 10 woman of all time, for sure. And there's no question. There's like you could debate it, but like they're going to be in the conversation, and no one's going to argue that they're in the conversation. So I was fine with that.
What are you saying?
The rest of them you left off. The rest of them are not top. Not being in the top 10 women of all time does not make you what?
Angel Reese. Ever heard of her?
She's not a top 10 woman of all time.
Nasty on the boards.
She is nasty on the boards, but is she a top 10 female rebounder of all time? There's an argument for it, but that's not what we're talking about. You made
Listen,
those the top 10 women of all time, and I wouldn't do that. They're not.
If we want to rank the top 10 women of all time, we can do that on another episode. I don't know why you keep bringing it up.
We don't. I'm not saying we necessarily have to, but if you want to, we can. But what you said was your girlfriend is not better than Amber Heard, and that's all I heard. That's all I Amber heard.
Okay. Well, that's not what Amber said, because I'm trying to say, I'm trying to give you 10 women that you have to rank. It's not my list of 10 the best 10 women of all
And
time. I'll go ahead and say it. Mine will look different than yours because you know who I wouldn't have way up high?
Probably Olivia Rodrigo.
At number 10? I wouldn't have Amber Heard at number 10. I'll tell you that right now. She wouldn't even be on my list.
But here's the thing is you said that. I answered your question with excellence because you gave me 10 women and I had to rank them. You said these are the top 10 women of all time.
So you stand behind your rankings.
No, I never once endorsed that. As the top 10 women of all time,
you stand behind your rankings though?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even your wife at 7?
No, because I've already said it once. I'll say it again.
You just said you stood behind your rankings.
Yeah, after I moved her back up to 1.
Your Honor?
That was how we finished, and you allowed that. You said, I'll allow that.
Perjury.
Not on trial. Get improv, kid.
Actually, this isn't a real trial. Yeah, dude. Shut up, dude. I don't see a judge here. Bro, that's you.
Speaking of, you said Amber Heard has been in a lot of movies. Can I talk to you about my movie situation that I'm on? I'm
Christopher
on this journey.
Nolan here, dude. Can I urge you to check out any other director?
Well, I'm ready to do that, and I actually did this week.
Okay.
Because I did watch one Christopher Nolan movie. I'd been recommended it a lot. I think you had recommended it at some point too. But everyone's like, and I knew is one of those legacy movies, Inception.
Oh yeah, great movie.
Inception. First of all, everyone I remember when Inception came out, people were like, "This is the most confusing movie of all time."
It's not that confusing.
The ending is insane. You don't know how it ends. You know how it ends.
It's pretty clear.
It's so
he doesn't
clear.
care anymore. That's the whole point.
Yeah, he doesn't care anymore. That's true. But also, the top starts to wobble. The top
it is gonna fall, but he doesn't care.
The top never once wobbled when he was in the dream state. So he was absolutely awake, and exactly. And I was sitting there, I was like, this movie is. The first hour and a half of that movie could have been. I will quote my letterbox. The first hour and a half of that movie could have been an email. I didn't need all that. It was ridiculous how much world building they had to do for a concept that was not. It was just so. They were trying to. There was so much narrative around building this world that was not hard to understand. Right. And they added other details they needed to, but they made it so expository, not suppository, expository, and it was ridiculous. Right. It was so boring. It's kind of fun at the end, but it's
I bet you wish you could have taken that first hour and a half as a suppository, where it was
potentially,
it was just instant right in your system.
Just get it over with, yeah. Let it hit the bloodstream.
Because I believe that. Yeah, I think it hits the bloodstream quicker if it's suppository.
Yeah, we went to the University of Tennessee. We know quite well.
We know things like that.
All that being said, I watched another movie this week. I went back to my roots, and I watched a classic Owen Wilson-esque performance of a movie I'd never seen before called Father Figures with Owen Wilson and Ed Helms. And I'm not even kidding. It was like a ridiculous brother comedy where it's they're so different and their mom sends them on this wild goose chase to find who their real dad is, all this kind of stuff. And that's the premise of the movie.
Well,
it has a better twist ending than any Christopher Nolan movie I've ever seen. I need
to watch this movie.
I was more entertained by it than any movie besides the Dark Knight trilogy that Christopher Nolan has made that I've seen now that I've been on this journey. I liked it better than Parasite. Maybe
we're just learning that it was just kind of a fling with culture that you were having, and now you're back to garbage. But
it's not even that. It's not even that. I'm coming to the conclusion that these movies that try to be deep for no reason, they just aren't. They're just filmed in a more artistic manner, and people think that they're deeper because of that. The dialogue that exists and I just peaked because I'm getting so mad thinking about it. The script of Inception is not deeper than the script of Father Figures, and I'm not even kidding about that. I'm being totally real with that.
Watch Father Figures.
It is just as smart, but it's packaged in a more cutesy candy cutter comedy movie style.
Hey, Editor Mark here. I recognize I said candy cutter, not cookie cutter.
while trying to be intellectual, and I'm sorry about that. But like these movies aren't that deep, and people who aren't deep thinkers love these kind of like Inception type movies because I think they're like realizing something about the world, but they're not. They're just not. They're not hard to follow. They're not hard to understand. It doesn't make you intellectual to understand these movies because they spell everything out for you, and they're like, I'm starting to get mad about Christopher Nolan.
The movie that you're raving about right now, I just want you to know, has a 17% on Rotten Tomato.
I don't care. There are 26% no holes in it. There
audience rating.
I'm not even kidding. There are no holes in this movie, and it's entertaining. It's funny, and it holds up. It holds up quite well for me.
Amateurish, and should be avoided.
It's not offensive. It's actually
Who's the
not.
Daddy? Who cares? That's the one review. Limp
That's
jokes, bad chemistry, and the least believable on-screen fraternal bond make for a very lackluster viewing experience. It's difficult to ascertain what harder to take in this laugh-free comedy. What's harder to take in this laugh-free comedy? The sentimental bits or the expected dashes of witless crudity.
It's honestly not crude, and it's not like a comedy in the sense that everything's trying to be a joke. It has two twists.
It's fueled on the fumes of jokes that maybe could have passed in the early 2000s.
It doesn't though.
In what's almost
it actually
2018,
doesn't, though.
The blandness that it bleeds makes it as boring as it is unfunny.
Find that person's review of Inception right now. I dare you. And I bet it's the most pretentious thing you've ever read in your life.
If I can, I will.
Okay, you get on that.
Well, real quick, it's crazy that you watched that movie, though, because Father Figure by Jon Bellion was released.
Yeah.
And did you listen to it?
I have. I've gotten through it. It's good. You didn't like it, and then you have forced yourself to say it's the best piece of art ever created.
It's not that I didn't like it. I thought it was solid, and then the more I listened to it, specifically like the first half of the album I really like, and then the last half I'm like, it's all right.
That's kind of the Bellion experience, though. Not to like get super into that now, but this is a big deal for you because Jon Bellion's your guy. He's been your guy since I've known you, and even before that. And he hasn't made music because of his fight with Live Nation and all the studio stuff that he's been fighting to undo behind the scenes. But he's released music for the first time in 6 years, and it's a big deal, and people are excited about it. I hear he's not going to tour, which is kind of funny, but that is what it is. But yeah, this is big for you. This means a lot to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just glad he's back making music. He's only having one concert in New York though for the tour, which is kind of tough. I don't think I'll make it out to that one.
Bro, it sounds like you gotta go to New York though. Just go, man. What do you have to lose?
Dude, a lot of money and time. It's gonna be very expensive.
Yeah, but you'll never see him again, probably live.
Well, hopefully he does another concert at some point, right?
Yeah, maybe he'll do a concert at your apartment complex in Austin, Texas.
That would be sick.
That'd be a big get for you guys.
Sorry, I'm trying to find this man's Inception review, and it's kind of hard to track down.
No worries. Let's just take a beat then, and we'll throw it to a little Hutch action. Hit it, Hutch.
Boys and girls, Matt and Tyler, thank you.
Well, welcome back to Until We Agree. We found the guy's Letterboxd, and it seems, Tyler, that he has chosen Inception well over Father Figures, which tells me all I need to know about this guy.
4 stars, and he gave Father Figures 1.5 on Letterboxd. He didn't give either a review on there. I guess he hated Father Figures that much that he went to the Rotten Tomatoes site to just denounce it. But
yeah, you have to have some real venom for something like that to say all that. I will say, ChatGPT has chosen Inception over Father Figures as well, which also tells me all I need to know.
In what sense?
I said, which movie would you rather watch, Inception or Father Figures 2017? He said, if I had to choose, I'd go with Inception, hands down.
Right. Yeah, that sounds about right.
But he also said he said it's critically acclaimed. He doesn't know anything else. He said it's thought-provoking and rewatchable. Yeah, right. If you want to watch an hour and a half of dialogue about fake dream jumping, yeah, that sounds so much fun. ChatGPT, of course. And since when are we on the side of AI? AI is taking people's jobs. Ever heard of that? Taking jobs?
Yeah. No, I've heard of that.
But I have one more debate for you before we get to Q&A, and I think we're getting to the point where we need to get into it. Speaking of Owen Wilson, speaking of Stick on Apple TV Plus, let me put you on to golf for a second. This is a debate on golf, and I want your Actually, it's talking about everything we've talked about today because I also want to bring your girlfriend into this.
Okay. We'll do it then.
Sorry, I just wanted to be sure you were active in this conversation. I didn't.
Well,
want
like
to
I'm
do
just
that.
like I'm waiting because you haven't given me anything to actually respond to, really. So
The okay was great. That was what I was looking for.
Okay.
I don't want to waste anyone's time. So that okay spelled out OKAY, not the shorthand because we're doing fine on time. But what I wanted to say was I saw a TikTok this morning and it was essentially, would you rather have, I couldn't tell how long the putt was, but it was like, I'm going to say like an 18 to 20 inch putt. Would you rather have one putt at that to make $500,000, or would you trust your girlfriend with 3 attempts to make that putt for $2 million?
I would take the putt myself.
Yes, you should. And I'm only saying that. I've talked about how nice and fun and friendly your girlfriend is.
Yes.
I've seen her play Topgolf before. And
Not a golfer.
The worst performance I've ever seen.
Well, and you might be thinking out there listening, hey, what Topgolf isn't putting though? Like putting's, you could say it's easier. You don't have to swing, nearly as hard. I have been to a PGA Superstore with her and I've showed her, putters and, balls were flying across the store. It was unbelievable. So I would take that putt 100%.
She's like especially bad at it. I think you're a special case. I was like, me and Brittany, we went to the range yesterday. We're getting Brittany into golf, and it's been fun. I have confidence. She has a decent short game. It wasn't really a question for me. I would let her take 3 putts at an 18-inch putt, and I don't doubt that she's making one. I think she might miss the first one, and if I can't give her any advice, I would get a little bit scared. But she misses putts. She overreads putts. She leaves them all on the high side. I would just say, just hit it. I would say hit it at the middle of the hole. It's not going to break that much. It's an 18-inch putt. But if I can't say anything, I'd be a little bit concerned. But I think she could still pull it off in 3 putts. She's getting good. But yeah, your girlfriend is like
concerned when he can't say anything. Interesting.
Your girlfriend is like exceptionally bad at golf in a way I've never seen someone be like exceptionally bad at something before.
She just never played, which is unlucky. Maybe we can get her out there to Topgolf again.
I think that's like she has to sign a waiver now. I think right after what happened.
Yeah, I think how Amber Alerts go out. One of those alerts go out if you're nearby Topgolf when we're out there. But that joke actually deconstructed itself as I thought about it because like the balls don't even get off the mat. So it's like
no, I wanted you to ride that one. That was a good try. Good try. But yeah, so that was just a good fun thought I wanted to run by you. Let's move into Q&A. Do you want to take over Q&A for us?
Yes, because Kim asks, and by the way, asks us some questions because we got nothing but tea, and that's nothing but time because we save so much tea while we're talking.
And that second tea was also
for time.
Okay.
And so if you had to get a piercing, where would it be?
And Kim did text me pretty much immediately after commenting and said, please know that the question is about where on your body, not like a Claire's. So that's been specified. It's where specifically is the piercing going into your body?
See, that sucks that she said that because I was going to make the joke that I would go to someplace that specializes in piercings.
Yeah, and you can still do it, but you also
instead
can give a real
instead
answer.
of a dirty, dark bathroom or something.
Yeah, so why don't
nowhere like that?
You can still do that, but then you also have to say a body. So go ahead and say your joke.
Okay. Well, you go first, and then I'll do my thing.
So hopefully not like a dirty, dark bathroom or something.
Wait a second.
But if I had to pick, I would pick one of those like cow ones that go like that look like like the cows when their ears or in their nose.
Oh yeah, like a septum piercing.
Yeah, but like a really big loop, similar to a dairy cow.
Right.
And while I'm at it, I want an ear tag that numbers me from 1 to 200, like the cows.
And are you sure is it always 1 to 200? You know that for a fact?
Yes. No, I do know that for a fact actually, because no one has more than 200. Say it with me. No one has more than 200
cows.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
No, I would probably go. Fine. I'm man enough to say I'll go to Claire's. What's wrong with it? I bet it's a good deal.
No, it's probably the safest place to do it.
Yeah, because I would get, and you know what I'd get pierced?
Tell me, man. That's the question.
I'd just get it nice and simple.
Whoa, man! That was crazy. Why did you say it like? Why did you just say, man?
What are you talking about?
That was gross. Let's just get
No,
this
it was
episode
not.
over with. I can't believe you just said that. I don't even think
What are
we
you
can leave.
talking about?
I don't even think we can leave that in. Hit it, Tim Robinson.
No.
What the hell?
This show's called Until We Agree. Oh, thank you for listening.
While we did hit it to Tim Robinson, the episode's also over now, and you also heard Hutch. So thank you, Hutch, and thank you, Tim Robinson. Anything you want to add to end the episode?
Yeah, I don't know what he edited in there, but that's not what I said probably.
Here, let me do an impression of me reacting to what you said, but I'm actually Matt Damon downsizing.
Okay.